It started like any normal evening, lights on, dinner cooking, the usual sounds of a functioning home. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming, until everything suddenly stopped. The hum of appliances faded instantly, the lights flickered once, and then the house went completely dark. At first, I thought it was a neighborhood outage. It happens sometimes. But when I looked outside, the street lights were on. The neighbors' homes were lit normally. Only ours was dark. That's when the concern turned into something heavier. I checked the breaker panel, everything looked fine. No trip switches, no signs of failure. But something had clearly been turned off externally. I stepped outside, scanning the side of the house, and noticed the access point near the utility area. The cover was slightly open. That's when I felt it, that sinking realization that this wasn't accidental, this was deliberate. And immediately, one person came to mind, Karen. She had been complaining for days about rule violations and excess usage, sending warnings through the HOA system like she had authority over how homes functioned. I ignored it, thinking it was just noise. It wasn't. Inside the house, my daughter was connected to medical equipment that required stable, continuous power. Equipment that wasn't optional. Equipment that mattered. And now everything was off. I didn't waste time guessing. I documented everything, the panel, the timing, the condition of the switches, and called for immediate assistance. Because this wasn't just a neighborhood disagreement anymore. This was interference with essential electrical supply. Within a short time, a technician arrived and confirmed what I suspected almost immediately. The power hadn't failed. It had been manually shut off from an external access point. Not maintenance, not utility error. Someone had physically intervened. And when access logs were reviewed, the pattern became clear. Karen had used HOA authority to reach the utility panel, believing she had the right to enforce compliance. What she didn't understand was that utility control isn't something the HOA can override. And shutting off power to a home, especially one supporting medical equipment, crosses far beyond any rule book she thought she was enforcing. The situation escalated quickly, but not emotionally, procedurally. The power was restored immediately using backup protocols, ensuring medical equipment stability first. Then came the formal review. Reports were filed, policies examined, authority boundaries clarified in writing. And Karen, who had been so confident in her enforcement, suddenly found herself in a completely different position. Her explanations didn't match the reality of what she had done. Because intent doesn't matter when actions cross legal lines. Over the next few days, everything shifted. The HOA distanced itself from her actions, clarifying publicly that no individual has authority to interfere with essential utilities. Neighbors who had previously ignored her complaints now understood the seriousness of what had happened. And Karen, she stopped sending warnings altogether. No more messages. No more rule enforcement, just silence. A few evenings later, I stood inside the house again, watching the lights flicker normally, hearing the steady hum of medical equipment working exactly as it should, safe, stable, reliable. And as I stood there, I realized something important. Karen thought she was enforcing a rule, but what she actually did was interfere with something far beyond her authority. And when you cross into something that's serious, it doesn't just backfire. It forces everything back into place the hard way.